All right, and we back again, and I'm gonna continue where I left off. But yes, when the end do come, and people try to seek Yahawah Shem Yahushai, they're not gonna get what they need from the Lord. They're gonna receive a delusion or a lie. So it's best to get the word now while you can, and don't wait until the war come to America for you to finally seek Yahawah, for you to seek the Lord, because it's gonna be too late. You know. It says, then this is what happens to non-believers and the wicked. After Yahawah showed his love, he shows hate. And he showed a lot of his love. In that moment that he showed his hate, it is extremely detrimental. It says, and I will set my face against that man. Wait. And they shall bear the punishment of their iniquity. The punishment of the prophet shall be even as the punishment of him that seeketh him. So he probably talking about those preachers. I stand corrected, that the house of Israel may go no more astray from me, neither be polluted any more with all their transgressions, but they that may be my people, and I will be their God, saith Yahawah. It says, the word of Yahawah came to me again, saying, Son of man, when a land sinneth against me by trespassing. So we can get another precept. Oh, this one is a good one. This one a good one. This is Hosea chapter 3. Hosea chapter 3, verse 1. It says, then Yahawah said unto me, it says, go yet, love a woman, beloved of her friend, yet an adulteress according to the love of Yahawah toward the children of Israel. This is the truth. Who look to other gods and love flagons of wine, different ideologies. So not only that they worship different religions and different gods, they worship different forms of information. So it says, I brought her to me for 15 pieces of silver, and for a homer of barley, and half of homer of barley. So it's like a form of saving them. Hello. Yes, you. You know you're Israelite according to the Bible? All right, have a good day. So it says, and I said unto her, thou shalt abide for me many days, that thou shalt not play the harlot, and thou shalt not be for any other man. So I will also be for thee. This is the love. This is how much Yahawah loves us. This is that marriage that he was talking about. But I think this is what happened. It says, and I said unto her, no, it says, for the children of Israel shall abide many days without a king. It says, and without a prince, and without sacrifice, and without an homage, and without an ephod, and without a teraphim. Afterwards shall the children of Israel return and seek the Lord, Yahawah, and David their king, and shall fear Yahawah with his goodness in the latter days. So it's a lot of us right now in the future, which is now, that's coming back to Yahweh Shem Yahushai, and we coming back to worship, and we remember who Yahweh Shem Yahushai was. You know, the angels, which are the real prophets of Yahweh, that came into our lives and gave us the word, woke us up, and in the form of remembrance and reincarnation to the generations. And the Bible being here, whether we dead or not, is going to be here. You know, it's been here. You know, so this is a part of us. The Bible is a form of our memory, you know, and it helps us remember the past, and it helps us remember who we are. All we needed was the name. So the prophets went and studied, the angels studied like they always do, and they bring back the information and they spread it. So it's a lot of us Israelites that are coming to remember, coming back to worship. We remember Yahweh. We remember his love. We remember his protection. We just didn't know his name. Now we got his name, and we call on the correct name and through power. But one of the first stages of the correct name is to give up the fake name. The fake name is God, which we don't know. Why would you put God in? That's how dumb the enemy is. You know, why would you put God? Why would you put God and try to hide the name? You know, that's what they tried to do, hide the name. You know, they didn't have any other name on it. They just put God, you know, because they worship gods, other gods, all kinds of gods, you know. So they just put God, you know, instead of, it just, that's the best way they can hide it, you know. But the prophets brought it back through the ancient Paleo-Hebrew and gave us the name, and we remember. So we come and we worship, you know, we come and we remember Yahweh Shem Yahushai. We spread the word to anybody who may listen, whether they hear or forbear, don't matter. Like Yahweh said, go and spread that word. You know, it'll be on them when the time comes. Because when they finally call on me or they seek you to find me, it's not going to happen. And you ain't going to tell them nothing. Or they going to get a bad ordeal, you know. But at the end of the day, you know, the people that came back truly love Yahweh Shem Yahushai. And we remember him. And we appreciate everything Yahweh Shem Yahushai do. In the name of Yahweh, you know, you got to go through the Son to get to the Father. Amen to that. And you appreciate everything that the Lord does for us, you know, every day. That's why I come out here, and I've been doing it for some years. I might not be perfect at it, but I remember Yahweh, and I come out here to thank him every day, you know, share the truth to the best of my abilities, and come out here and worship, whether people are listening or not. Like Yahweh said, preach to the wind. Somebody may hear it, somebody may see it. You know, if it don't, it don't. At least Yahweh heard it. Yahweh see it. He know what's in my heart, you know. And let me finish getting that, you know. That's the end of my little comment. But we in the future, in the latter days, so it's a lot of us that's standing up, and we remember Yahweh Shem Yahushai, and we love him, and we worship him, and we stand up, and we be for him to the best of our abilities. That's what the Lord is looking at. It's not a lot of us, but it was meant to be that way. And we all just candidates. You never know who Yahweh Shem Yahushai choose to give spiritual power to. You never know who he choose to save. We just have faith that those of us that call on him, let it be us, you know. Yahweh willing. Amen to that. Yes. Oh, that's cool. I'll read some of this too. This is Galatians chapter 6. It says, but if a man, brethren, if a man be overtaken in a fault, ye which are spiritual, restore such an one in the spirit of meekness. Consider thyself, lest thou also be tempted. Bear ye one another's burdens. It says, and so fulfill the law of yahawah. Take care of one another. It says, for if a man thinketh himself to be something, when he is nothing, he deceiveth himself. That's right. No matter how rich you are, no matter how strong, no matter how powerful, you ain't nothing, you know. None of us are nothing but dust in the eyes of the Lord. So it says, but let every man prove his own work, and then shall he have rejoicing in himself alone and not in another. That's right. So be happy with yourself. Don't do it to impress others. Do it to impress yourself. That way, if that's especially for prophets that do the work, don't do it to impress another prophet. Do it to impress the Lord, Yahawah, and do it to impress and to rejoice in yourself, knowing that you've done something, knowing that you have some sort of works that Yahawah can revise and he can analyze and check out. That way he can see whether you be acquitted in the hour of the major judgment or not. And most likely you might, because you have works. You out there, you have a sincere heart, and you try, you know. And don't do it to impress another men, because men are just men, you know. And that is the truth. They no different than you. They share the same image as you, despite status, you know, earthly status, you know. They still men. They still bleed. They still got a time limit on this earth, you know. They still feel pain. They still have feelings. They got a brain too, you know. They go through shit. So, you know, impress Yahawah. Don't impress them. And be happy with yourself. So it says, but let every man prove his own work, and then shall he have rejoicing in himself alone, and not in another. It says, for every man shall bear his own burden. That's true. Let him that is taught in the word communicate with him that teaches in all good things. Be not deceived. Yahawah is not mocked, for whatsoever a man soweth, that he shall also reap. That's right. What goes around comes around. Don't think that you truly got away just because it's been a while that you have not been touched, or you have not went through something. You know, it's been a lot of peace in your life. You know, that's why a lot of us be vigilant. We be merciful for the things that we do wrong to yahawah, because we know that any moment the Lord can get us for the wrong that we've done, you know. But it's a lot of evil people. It's a lot of wicked people that think otherwise about that. So they feel like that I ain't going to get caught. I ain't going to get touched, you know. And the Lord will catch you. The Lord will touch you, and it will happen. Sometimes it can happen suddenly, which some people call it instant karma, you know, or it can happen. It can happen when you don't see it coming, or it can happen when you at your weakest point, you know. It's called having a bad day, per se. When just bad shit, a lot of bad shit is happening. You know, the Lord can get you bankrupt. You're losing thousands of dollars. Losing thousands. Next thing you know, you're getting kicked out of your home. You know, multi-million-dollar home. You know, next thing you know, your wife divorced you, and she win custody battle over the kids and take your children. And next thing you know, that you're homeless. You were living in a motel, you know. Then you fuck around and you do truly be a bum. And then you get hooked on drugs and you stay there for the rest of your life. And you have such a great legacy. But and then at your weakest, then the Lord will send some niggas to beat your ass. To beat your ass. And really beat your ass, you know, by robbery or just bullying you, you know, and take your shit or take your drugs. And now you ain't got shit. You just broken. And the Lord can push you in that fire, you know, and it can happen suddenly. or like they said, instantly, or it can happen when you at your weakest, you know. It can really happen like that, but that shit funny as hell. Ah, shit, that shit funny as fuck, man. Well, it says, for he that sow up to this flesh, it says, it's to his flesh. It says, of the flesh, reap corruption. But he that sow up to the spirit, of the spirit, reap life everlasting. That's right. So, you take care of yourself, you do better. Or actually, this is for spiritual works. You pray, you do the right thing, you try to stay in your lane to the best of your abilities. You go out to the highways and byways, especially for us men. You try to spread the word the best you can. You recite the good acts. Yahawah will remember it. And later on in your life, it'll start becoming better. Mine it's getting way better. It's getting more exciting. I'm happier, more energetic. I'm becoming stronger. And Yahawah Shem Yahushai, and the name Yahushai is the reason for that. He making my life better. He see me trying. He see my struggles. He see that I love him no matter what happened to me. He see that I'm doing the best that I can and I'm not perfect. But I bring my ass out here, and I come out here to worship. And I want to spread the word to my people. Whether they listen or not, it don't matter. But I was here. And Yahawah Shem Yahushai knows that. And I've been doing this a lot for years, for at least 2 to 3 years now. Or probably even longer. I don't remember. And it doesn't matter. All that matters is that I love Yahawah Shem Yahushai, and the name Yahushai, and the Lord shows signs that he loves you every day in, day out. And suffering brings reward. The more that you go through, the more benefits, the more rewards you can get out of it. The people who suffer the most is the ones that's going to get rewarded the most, which is Israel in general. But for those that are the Israelites, the ones that consider themselves in the new covenant, or just the ones that believe me personally and Yahawah Shem Yahushai in general, the more you suffer, the more you're going to get out of it, because Yahawah said, the first shall be last, and the last shall be first, and the first shall be slave of all, meaning that the people that came first, their time is over. Better is the end of a thing than the beginning of it is. So we at the end of it, and those of us that's coming last, now we starting to get our blessings last, starting to become stronger. And our blessings is not materialism, it's spiritual. So that's the best thing, something that you can't see, so the riches that no one can never take from us in the spirit is Yahawah Shem Yahushai, in the name Yahushai. Amen to that. Because the Lord gave us that gold. The Lord gave us that treasure. And when the new heaven come, we'll be able to cash in with that, And that's that penny, And whatever money that the Lord is going to give us when the time comes, but we already got it. We just need to keep building. And when it's time to cash in, you cash in, whether it be a small or big amount, it's still going to be something in the kingdom to come in the next life. It is going to be way better for you. And instead of us being born like this, struggling and treacherous and hard, we're going to be born in order. We're going to be born perfect. We're going to be born in a good life. The life is going to be so good, it's going to be compared to a dream. It ain't going to be nothing that you've ever experienced. It's going to be true heaven on earth. And that's in the next life. But for right now, we got to go through the grit. But it's not like it doesn't have its rewards neither. So that's the best thing. But it's spiritual reward. Not physical, not money. And the more I suffer, and the more I go through things, and the more I experience chastisement, the more I go through work, hard work, the capability of earning, I'm steadily burning, I'm suffering. The more I experience the rewards and the benefits of all my work and all my pain and all my suffering, it's not without its cost, So that's one of the blessings of Yahawah Shem Yahushai and Am Yahushai. Those that suffer the most, it's going to get rewarded the most. If you don't suffer, you won't be rewarded. You know why? Because you ain't went through nothing. You know? So if you ain't suffered, you ain't got if you ain't suffered, you ain't been through nothing. It's because Yahawah already gave you what you needed. You know? But for the others that are last, them the ones that suffering the most. It says, and let us not be weary in well-doing, for in due season we shall reap if we faint not. As we have therefore opportunity, let us do good unto all men, especially to them who are the household of faith. So have respect. Have respect for everybody. Just because the people that are not under our nation, you know, then they are enemies, you know. Satan is good and he's evil, but most importantly, he is evil, you know, but not to say for all of these people, all these white people, you know, and other races that Yahawah created. Have respect for them, you know, have respect them, you know, if they respect you, respect them, you know, but mostly respect the house of Israel, respect our Israelite brothers, love them, even the bad ones, love them too. As much as I hate them, I love them, and they are people, but that's what's important, you know. Most of our love go to our people because we see what they go through every day. You know, it was like damn near 90 to 100 degrees yesterday, you know, and I just saw a man there, a brother there, and he was passed out, sun glazing on him. He burnt, like he burning, he burning. And this was a couple days ago. I'm gonna go back a couple days ago, and he burning, it's hot. The sun ain't glazing on him, he trying to hide in the shade, but it's so fucking hot. And you know, he strung out on some type of drug that made him crash. But he burning, it's not safe to be out there like that. And I had a cold bottle of water and my backpack that I just got out the refrigerator, and I'm like, in my mind, I seen him, you know, just passed out right there like that, just burning, you know, and I just left that. The best thing I could do was leave that cold ass bottle of water, cold bottle of water by his side, man. So when he wake up, he could just drink that shit, you know, and at least cool down in the inferno that he in. Like I said, hell is truly a place. Hell is on earth. Hell is a living condition, you know. But the fact that I did that, you know, I love Israel in general, you know, and Jacob, you know, in different forms of us. But, you know, it do hurt to see my people just suffer like that and be down like that. But hindsight is punishment. And then the other side is just due to a terrible environment and being under tyranny, under a wicked rule. You know, this is what happened to our people, you know, but having that mercy, like the prophet said, thank you for giving me a cold water to drink in this fire, you know. Or the other metaphor is that you can't find a cold cup of water in hell. You know, that shit funny as hell because it's not impossible. But, you know, for people that don't got money, people don't got much. Some of them that are born in a hellish state, you know, they don't have much. People don't want to look out for them. You know, for my people, I do see them. You know, I do see them. And I left him that bottle like, here, man, like, fuck, I can't at least have some cold water to drink in this fire, man. You know, I would want somebody to do that shit for me, you know. It says, you see how large a letter I have written unto you with my own hand. It says, as many as desire to make a few show in the flesh. It says, they constrain you to be circumcised. It says, they may keep glory in your flesh, but Yahawah forbid that I should just glory. It says, save in the cross of Yahawah, the Messiah, by whom the world is crucified unto me, and I unto the world. For in Yahawah side neither circumcision availeth anything, nor uncircumcision, but a new creature. It says, and as many walk according to this rule, peace be on them and mercy, and upon Israel, Yahawah, the Israel of Yahawah Ba'Shem Yahushai. From henceforth let no man trouble me. It says, for I bear in my body the marks of Yahawah Ba'Shem Yahushai. It says, brethren, the grace of Yahushai be with your spirit. Amen. Because Yahawah love him some Israel, man. The Lord love us, man. And these prophets that written this, writ it for our sake, you know. Written it for us, for those of us that truly believe. You know, it's a beautiful thing, you know. Just stay in the faith. You know, have Yahawah Ba'Shem Yahushai love upon you. And it's beautiful. Like it said, when deep sleep fall upon men, the spirit of Yahawah rest upon them and give them the instructions. And so that when they wake up, they commanded. They being commanded, or it's already written in them what they gonna do that day. You know, so it's a beautiful thing for Yahawah for allow me to wake up and taste life every day. It's a beautiful thing that Yahawah Ba'Shem Yahushai protect me and he guard me every day. You know, it's a beautiful thing because I don't have a professional trainer, nor do I need one. But I don't have a trainer. I don't have no mentor. I don't have nobody in my life to wake up and push me to keep going. The only person I got is Yahawah Ba'Shem Yahushai, in the name of Yahushai the Lord. And he wake me up. He make me train. He keep me on my toes. He make me go running. He allow me to do my push-ups, my pull-ups, my sit-ups. You know, he's my only trainer. He my main trainer. He's showing me how to eat a little bit better to the best of my abilities. I'm losing weight. I'm getting into shape. You know, I'm doing things that I never thought that I could do. You know, and Yahawah Ba'Shem Yahushai is showing me that he is the reason why. So I thank Yahawah every day through Yahawashi, his son, every day. You know, and he the only one there. If it were not for Yahawah coming into my life, I wouldn't even know what to do with myself. I'd probably be this goody two-shoe guy that's still getting into trouble with bad people. You know, getting bullied, being weak, no order to myself. You know, no masculinity, no growth. You know, discombobulated, don't know what to do, don't know how to acknowledge myself. You know, in darkness, in suffering, through torment. You know, so that's a beautiful thing. You know, and I just thank Yahawah Ba'Shem Yahushai, in the name of Yahushua every day, because I know the Lord love me. I know he love all my people. We ain't gonna be down like this forever, but there is a system, there is an order, there's a promise, and there's prophecy. Everything got to take place and happen the way it's supposed to happen. You know, so call on Yahawah Ba'Shem Yahushai, Ba'Shem Rekah Kwadash. This is the love of the Lord. In the name of Yahushai, I'm moving on with my day. Amen. On to the next one.